hit that really crisp in transition right into a runner's target, which is tough to do. And unfortunately, he won't get credit, but that should have been an assist.
Comes out to Ottawa. Brown. He's very, very high on this young man.
Spent the season with the G League, the College Park Skyhawks, under former CEBL head coach Ryan Schmidt. Small world.
Yes, it is. Hang around long enough. Different leagues, but the characters and the players remain. Sampson tied up on a double team to the rim and a foul. I love the fact that Sampson is attacking the rim.
That's a great way to calm the offense down and put some points on the board. Drawing some fouls. It's Montreal. He prides himself on the defensive end.
Sampson, who's had NBA experience briefly with the Chicago Bulls, spent time not only in the G League as well with the Windy City Bulls in the first of two up and out. And our Lotto Max path to the playoffs. The season has just started, but let's take a look, Amy, at an early look at the standings.
Well, it's early, to your point, right? I mean, yes, some of the West teams have certainly come out of the gate with some wins, but on the East side, again, I mean, one win on the season, but there's 20 regular season games, and there's still a whole lot of time to catch back up, and I think there's some great parity in the league.
With the top side, Jay, up and good. How about this? Montreal leads 28-22, but Ahmed Hill and Chris Smith are scoreless. Pandy splits the defense, driving on Elaine Louis with a layup. I'm a big Pandy fan.
Me too. I think a lot of people are. I mean, his body, but then also just his IQ. He knows how to use his body.
And Dorson scissors Dorson to the rim and a dunk. Oh. 30-24, Montreal at the 6-minute mark. Masters off a high screen from Moore. Pandy wants it, feels it, steps back, lets it fly. Raised front iron. You can just tell the confidence for Montreal right now. They are oozing with a great deal of it.
I'll go back to it, Chuck. They just look so much more poised on the offensive end. If it's not pushing, they can set it back up. They're getting some good looks in the half court.
Forced to go with a tough ankle pass, and then it's kicked away, and we're going to have the ball given to Montreal. We got Smith returning for Montreal. They want to get him going.
Right, I mean, it also number 2 rebounder in the league right now, over 10 a game.
I want to remind you, you can get your tickets to all Ottawa Blackjacks and the games by scanning this QR code. You can pull up and be a part of the action here at TD Place. Bowden against Masters. Elaine Louis with 9 on the clock, driving on Moore, up and count, and a foul in continuation.
Elaine Louis eats a big and then uses his strong upper body to clear a window, because Isaiah Moore is a great shot blocker. He's so long. Didn't seem to bother Louis.
3-point play. Montreal has opened up their biggest lead of the ball game. And we're going to have a timeout. 5:09 left first half. Chuck Swirsky, Amy Ottawa, Jubal Sara. We're live from Ottawa on...
Welcome back to TD Place here with Ottawa Blackjacks VP of Basketball Operations, Javon Shepard. Now, Javon, your team... Final fours you've gone to, you finished below 500, but you still got there. Talk about not overreacting to the slow start that Blackjacks have gotten off to.
You know what, I think everybody is trying to get better, right? And even the teams that are at the top of the league right now, they're always trying to understand that it is a marathon, not a race. And with us right now, we've lost a couple key pieces from years past. So we're still trying to find that, connective tissue with some of our guys, our new guys, integrating them. But we're excited about this group. James has done a phenomenal job building this group right here. The guys just have to continue to learn the systems, right? Learn James' systems and get better, get a bit more cohesive. And I think you've seen the league grow over the years. There's a tremendous amount of talent. It's all about who's peaking at the right time, and that's our end goal.
Now, it's a big summer for Canadian basketball. We're competing for gold in Paris this summer, and also, you know, the Wnba team in 2026. Talk about the joy you share and the outlook for the sport in Canada.
Well, you know, you mentioned it, right? Competing for gold on both the women's and men's side, and I think that says a lot about where the game has come in our country. We always talk about it being a growing sport here, and I think, no, like, the sport is here now. We're seeing so much in terms of women basketball, in terms of, you know, our national team success, in terms of guys that are playing in other professional leagues across the globe, our NBA guys as well, WNBA guys. So I think it's just phenomenal for, you know, the next generation to see and just inspire them. It was one of one, and if you looked across, and fortunately I see, you know, a former teammate of mine, Joel Anthony, if you've seen another Canadian that was playing, you know, you're excited about that. Yeah, you want to compete and bite their head off, bite their neck off, but at the same time, you're just excited to see another Canadian. Now we have that across the globe.
Awesome. Appreciate your time, Javon. Back to you, Chuck.
All right, D, thank you. Smith works, kick out, left side, jumper up and good. Bukar.
So we're seeing some three-point shooting. That rim is opening up for both teams. Ottawa hitting 2, and then big response from Montreal.
The pace of this game has picked up considerably.
But you know what you love about that, Chuck? It's in the half court, too.
38-30, Montreal on the road up by 8, but 3:41 to go. Terrell Tate at the line. We told you that Ottawa checking in at 69% from the stripe. Montreal
CEBL MVP
67% from the line, 9th in the NBA. The thing that's really hurt Montreal this season is turnovers. They average 17 per game, second most in the CEBL.
And when you look, I mean, they're dropping games by an average of around 3 points. So you talk about turnovers and a couple free throws left on the board. That's the difference between a 1-4 team and maybe a 3-2 team. And those things matter. They're really important. I know it sounds silly, but sweat the small stuff here.
And remember, Montreal has a berth already in the CEBL Final Four. Here's a turnaround jumper, and Smith has his first field goal of the ball game. But again, you want to go into the season, the second half of the season, with somewhat of a momentum, getting ready for that Final Four, Amy.
You've got to be playing your best basketball. You can't just show up, right? It's all about kind of the process of a season, and these guys understand it. And Montreal players have so much pride, and the Lions have a good handful of guys that are native of Montreal, and so they don't take this lightly. There's one right there. Alain Louis, he'll tell you how special it is to play for his home team, his home city, and I got to imagine just every time they're stepping on the court for all 20 regular season games, they're playing for that.
40-32, Montreal driving in the crowd. We have a hand check and a foul. Terrell Tate commits it. It's going to be his first, 14. Alain Louis at the point. Off the screen from Dorson. And a little out short, but it's deflected and banked home by Borsico.
Maxime Borsico, by the way, went for the offensive glass from the perimeter. So that was a nice pursuit from him. Sometimes you're in the right place, right time, but...
2:43 left first half, 42-32. The Alliance have opened up a 10-point lead.
And now you're seeing some pressure, not a super high, but enough. Look at the right over half court. Look at the trap.
Gann, Masters, Tate turns hard. Baseline left with a right-handed layup. That's how you get back in the ball game.
Attack to the rim, but Montreal, right, looking relaxed. And as soon as that ball crossed half, they tried to make something happen, just couldn't corral the ball. It turns into a wide open layup for Ottawa.
Wide open, right corner, Hill, 3 ball. Got it.
There he is. If Med Hill can get going, he puts a whole different dynamic to Montreal's offense.
Foul line extended right more with an air ball. Forced to go with the lead pass to Hill. Hill, stop and go, driving on Tate. Ball knocked out of his hands, and we have a foul.
I've watched it now many years here in the CEBL, but he's another guy who's got so much size, but really, really explosive. He's a great pro player, played his college ball at Virginia Tech, and so establishes his outside shot on the previous possession and now getting right to the rim through contact.
For CEBL Plus, the home of the CEBL, you can catch live games, highlights, game archives, and on-demand content for absolutely free. That's what I like. Head to pluscebl.ca to register now, and you can pull up. So Ahmed Hill, who was not 100% in the ball game last week. In fact, he had 11 points, which normally for any player, double digits is great, but Ahmed Hill is a very special talent. Just wasn't feeling right with an illness. Tabor to pull up, no long rebound. Bowden with a handoff to Hill. Hill driving. Hill with a wild runner up and good off the window. What a shot!
You almost saw it in his eyes. He kind of committed. You knew he was going up with that, Chuck. He gathered himself. You saw him really put that ball on his hip, and he was going through contact and got the glass.
Montreal has opened up a 15-point lead on the road. Masters open. Sidestep to the right. Andy lets it fly way off the mark. Montreal really looking to push every opportunity. Bowden driving. Bowden using the left hand and scoring. A feathery move in the paint.
That secondary transition, right? You're not fully into a half court. The first look's not there. Right to a trailer, and Ottawa's got to kind of pick up their defensive intensity here.
Masters threw it away. Leaking out his Hill. On the runway with a right-handed layup. And what a run for the Alliance with 33 seconds. 3:45 Montreal.
I like that James Duran's not calling a timeout. Some things you got to figure out as a player yourself. You got to get back on defense right now off of misses.
All right, one final possession. Go ahead, Amy. Who do you call?
I mean, so many guys are hitting shots right now. I'd love to see it go to Hill off. There you go.
Here's Hill, lets it fly. Bam! Onions, baby onions! And that, as Pandy from 65 feet, no good. Big time.